This isn't a fight for a title. It's for the soul of AEW, damn it. And Orange Cassidy, the guy who came into the company as a dude who had to be talked into trying in his matches, is now fighting for the soul of the company. Yeah, he's going to fall short. Jon Moxley's going to I'm sorry. What is going on, you guys? Welcome into the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino, Adam Barnard, and Zack Heydorn here with you. It is AEW Full Gear Weekend, and we are here to break down all 9 matches as of today, right? So we're actually recording this before the go-home episode of Dynamite. There are 9 matches on the card right now. So if any get added Wednesday night, sorry, we ain't talking about them. And TK, come on, man. Add some women's.
Yeah, this is a lot.
What are we doing, man?
Come on. Yeah,
come on, man. 8-to-1 ratio with that women's division. What the hell are we doing?
What are we doing here, man?
It's been a minute since we talked.
I'm doing well, sir. Rick, thank you so much for your time as always. Zach, good to see you, my friend. Glad to be back with you guys. And I'm hoping we have some disagreement here today, because what usually happens is we all agree on stuff and it's like, oh, okay, we're all here together again. But no, I'm looking forward to this conversation. I appreciate you thinking about me with this.
So yeah, I don't know, man. We're coming off the last show that we did, Zach, was Crown Jewel. I decided to make some bold predictions for Crown Jewel, and shocker, I had the worst percentage of just accuracy percentage I've had in like 2 years. So I might be playing it safe. I'd rather play it safe than look like a buffoon again.
Do y'all remember
to be bold?
Do y'all remember when you guys were giving me grief when I said that Roman Reigns was going to get pinned by Solo Sikoa? What was it that happened again real fast?
I do remember this. I remember this, and I remember watching the show going, man, Adam's going to – we're not going to be able to live with him after that.
I don't know. I did this shit. You know, I just blanked it completely out of my mind. That whole pay-per-view was a blur. I do need to apologize to Big Jim, because I thought Big Jim was just in that match to just eat it. And hey, look, good on WWE. They made the right call. Like, that's exactly what needed to happen. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's dive into this. Let's dive into this card here, and let's not go 30 minutes like we did the last time. We're gonna start here with something we don't typically pick, and that's the 0-hour matches. But hey, when you bring in a name like Big Boom AJ with Big Justice going up against QT Marshall here, look, this is going to be a spectacle. If nothing else, it's going to be a spectacle. I'm admittedly no clue about the Costco guys. Like, no, nothing. Anybody on the panel know these guys from Adam? Anybody? Adam, you know them from Adam? Anybody?
Actually, I have a story, though. I have a story about this, and I'm going to tell it really quick.
It's story time with Zack Heydorn, baby.
Baby. Here's the thing. I was sitting at All Out. What was it? Couple. So what was it? August, September is when it was here in the Now Arena.
So.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Summer.
And I'm sitting there. I'm in the with the media, and I'm like we're right decent seats. We're right by like where the the hockey boards would be, like in
I was there. I don't know how I didn't see you, but I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how. Yes, but anyway, so to my left, after every match, there's this guy coming down or coming up from the floor and taking pictures with people that are coming down like from the stands and they're like right next to me because I'm in the aisle, and I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I'm at a wrestling show in the media. Like, I think should know who this guy is. No clue. Absolutely no idea. Yeah. And the line is up the stairs. Finally, I lean over to the guy next to me. I'm like, who is that? And they're like, it's the Costco guy. And I was like, yeah, who? Like, who is this? And so now, after every match, the line gets longer and longer and longer. He's taking pictures from the moment that one match ends to the second the other match begins. And it's all show long, and it's the ages of probably 11 years old to like 15 years old. That was the hot age group getting tickets. But hey, I don't know who this person is. Tony Khan may have read the room okay on this, because some fans in AEW were certainly interested in this dude.
Dude, TikTokers and YouTubers, man, are like the new celebrities. Like, they are more.
Insane.
There's a few shows that I recall going to where there's somebody like some internet celebrity like walking in and everybody's taking photos of him. And I'm like, am I the only elder millennial who has no effing clue who this dude is? Like,
Not a
what
clue.
is going on? Now, if it was Blippy, thanks to my kids, I'd know who the hell it is. But other than that, like,
Blippy
Jesus.
plays. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
Blippy. Yeah,
Lord.
Blippy is. Yeah, I am blissfully unaware of the Costco guys. Anything about them, I have no idea. The
I was gonna
only
say,
thing I
I
know,
wish somebody could explain their shtick. Do they just live at Costco? I don't know.
I don't know.
They say who?
The only thing I know is what my oldest son James taught me, which is the Rizzler apparently is a part of this, and it's the. I don't know what the hell that means, but they walk around doing it to each other every day. So that's really the only information I can give you on that. And it's
I look, I have a lot of inappropriate jokes running through my head. So let's just pick this match before I get in trouble. Look, no disrespect to QT. I'm sure he's going to carry this match like the veteran that he is.
Yeah, big time.
If you're bringing in Boom, Boom's winning, right? Like,
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, boom. Boom's winning. Okay, there we go. Across the board. There's our expert analysis on this. We got Big Boom dropping the boom. He's going to win this.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the main card here,
Thank
folks.
you.
Swerve Strickland, Bobby Lashley. Now, this one's interesting, right? Because, one, this is Lashley's big in-ring debut. Swerve Strickland is one of the biggest stars in AEW now. So this is a huge marquee matchup in and of itself, but you had that tweet earlier in the week, Swerve Strickland with the x-ray of his shoulder, and look, there are not supposed to be cracks there, right? So he's dealing with an injury. This match very well may not even happen. Again, we're recording this prior to Dynamite. So right now, injury aside, I feel like Lashley wins this as his big debut, although what a statement it would be, Adam, if Swerve were to beat Bobby Lashley in his debut match at Full Gear.
I could see a world with that happening, right? He's a former AEW World Champion, right? Swerve is the guy. He is one of the guys of the company. But it's Bobby Lashley we're talking about, right? He's the Hurt Business. MVP is there. Shelton Benjamin. They're rebuilding the Hurt Syndicate, which
a lot of money there.
You're printing money with that conglomerate, right? I don't see a world. I'll give you a bold prediction because I know we want to keep it under half an hour today. Okay. But I think Bobby Lashley goes over. And again, I think this is going to be a decisive victory for Bobby Lashley. It's going to set the table for the Hurt Syndicate being the dominant force in AEW in that division. And I think in order to set that table, you need to have a Lashley beating. And I think that's if this match obviously takes place, I think that's what happens.
Yeah. If it takes place. So here's the other thing. I could see a scenario where Swerve gets a fluke victory, like a roll-up victory or a sneaky victory or something like that. And then the Hurt Syndicate pounces and lays him out.
True.
Right? Especially if, he can compete with the shoulder. If he needs to take time off, but he can do this match, I could see them some kind of injury angle taking him off TV for a hot minute. And I feel like I just talked myself into it. So I'm actually going to take Swerve to win this with a post-match beatdown to make the Hurt Syndicate look strong. What say you, Zach?
I'm taking Lashley. I'm going to go with Adam on this one. It's just too much value in the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley's first match, I think you got to put him over strong, and winning doesn't mean everything, but sometimes it means a lot. And I think here it means a lot to establish him an MVP and Shelton Benjamin in that group. Lashley gets the W. Swerve has an out because he does have that shoulder injury, whether it's a work or whether it's a shoot. Yeah. They can lean into it either way, and I think that's what they do. Lashley.
So this is a matchup I believe we all had wrong the last time that these two fought on a pay-per-view. I believe we all picked Hangman Adam Page, and then Switchblade Jay White got the W. So how are we feeling this time around, gentlemen? Adam?
I think I'm going to go with Hangman Adam Page on this one. I'm going to take the opposite approach. I'm doubling down on this one. I think it's going to be, I don't want to say 50-50 booking because I don't think a lot of that happens necessarily in AEW, but I definitely think for storyline purposes, because if they're driving and building here, I think Hangman's going to get the win on this one.
I'm going Jon Moxley, Jay White.
Out of nowhere. Right. Yeah.
I'm going Jay White. I think that part of the goal here is going to be for the rest of the year and into next setting up opponents for Jon Moxley. He needs babyface opponents to work with. He can't work with, the Orange Cassidy level guys forever. And Jay White's a good babyface for him to work with. That's a fresh match. And I think Adam Page doesn't lose much in losing, in doing that job. So I'm taking Jay White, and I think it sets him up nicely for a future title match with Jon Moxley.
Yeah, so I am going to, I don't know. I've gone back and forth on this. I don't think this is the last time these guys are wrestling.
No.
And I don't think that this is going to be I don't think this is going to be like I don't know. Now I'm talking myself out of it. Like I'm gonna guess here that we go with the Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes style of booking a trilogy here, where Cody gets 2 dubs and then Seth has to, go on a rampage, right? And trick Jay into, trick Cody into giving him the 3rd match. So I feel like that's what's going to happen here. I'm going to go Jay White over Hangman, and then Hangman's going to be on an all-out warpath to try to get one more match with him. Although they kind of just did that with him and Swerve too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's not like AEW's not repeated storylines before. So I'll probably second guess myself all the way to Saturday. But I'll go with Jay White on this one. I would have lost a lot of money believing that this match would be anything other than a triple threat. But Adam Cole did not win 3 matches, so he is not in this. So it's the Messiah, the backbreaker, who is going up against MJF. Going to be nice to see actually like MJF in a ring again and wrestling. And I know he's been busy. He's been filming a lot of movies, and I'm looking forward to Happy Gilmore too, just as I'm sure everybody on this panel is. Especially now that he's in it, I think he's going to do a hell of a job. But it's going to be nice to see him back in the ring. No offense to Roddy. I don't think that he's got a prayer of winning this one. I think MJF goes over. The match is going to be good, but this one is too easy to call. Max gets the win, and sooner or later he'll have a date with Adam Cole. But this is a nice little appetizer ahead of that, Adam.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, there's as the phrase I typically use in these panels, I don't see a world in any capacity where anyone but MJF wins this match, and I don't even need to elaborate on that. We all know that. Like, we all see the writing on the wall. We know where they're going. This is just a tee up for that Adam Cole match. So I think MJF gets it here.
So Zach, you're taking Roddy, right?
Oh, don't make me do it. Don't make me make a case here. No, I'm taking MJF. I mean, like you said, in what world? This has to be the way it goes. It has to be the way it goes. MJF needs to get the win. Do you guys think that we're recording this on Wednesday, as we've made abundantly clear? Tuesday. Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
It's okay, man. It's been a long week already. Yeah,
it's been one whole day. Do you think there's any way that by the time they get this match in the ring, Adam Cole is involved with it, either with Roddy not or as a triple threat? Like, it just seems so bizarre to not have Adam Cole involved in this, that in my head, we could be previewing a match that just isn't what it is by the time the show happens.
I would not be stunned if he gets involved post-match, right?
Yeah,
like,
I can see it.
I think there's going to be some kind of mutual respect kind of situation between Adam and Roddy, where Roddy's like, let me handle this. And Adam's like, all right, this is your shot. Go at it. You've earned it, kind of a thing. And then after it's all said and done, Adam Cole rushes to the ring. Hopefully the cadaver bone holds up, and he's fine. And there's an ass whooping there. Man, if I were him, I would be so hesitant to be running down anywhere, literally anywhere.
No running.
Not a chance.
Oh, but this one is look, the winners are us. Like, we win. Yeah. Like, we everybody in attendance wins. Everybody watching on pay-per-view wins. It's Will Ospreay. It's Kyle Fletcher. Will Ospreay, I don't even think arguably is the word. He's the best bell-to-bell guy in the world right now. And Kyle Fletcher, for being 25, honestly, is like one of the most impressive guys that I've seen. Every time that man gets in the ring, I'm like, there's no way he's this good this early. These two have a lot of great history with one another. The storytelling inside the ring, outside of the ring, all of it's going to be phenomenal. That said, I think the numbers game plays the advantage here. I think, with the Don Callis family lurking around, you never know when a screwdriver is going to show up. And if it does, I hope, Will gets another shot to stick it in the ground again, because I want to see if that was a fluke or if he's just that damn talented. But regardless, I think Kyle Fletcher is going to get a big win on this one here, Adam.
I agree. I think like you said, to amplify what you just said. Everybody wins watching this. Everybody's going to have a good time watching this match. It's going to be a fantastic professional wrestling match. But I think in order to kind of bring that storyline together, I got to go with Kyle Fletcher on this one. I think that's the only way. But I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a clean victory. It might be something like a roll up. There might be some schmaz finish. There might be something, but I think Ospreay basically gets it stolen from him is where I could see that going. I don't think it's going to be a clean win. Like he's not going to be on his back. So no, I'm going to go with Fletcher on this one.
The question I'm asking myself here is how much is Tony Khan in the Kyle Fletcher business for real here? Like how much is he in that business? Because
that's fair.
Because Kyle Fletcher is very, very talented, young age, but like if you beat Will Ospreay, like you're automatically like launched to another level, conceivably,
True.
like in your promotion. And I'm just banking on that. That's not where Kyle Fletcher is going at this moment in time. So I'm going to take Will Ospreay here. And match of the night, I think this is going to be the match of the night. But I am going to take Ospreay just for that reason. Just, the plans don't call for Fletcher to be in that type of an elevated spot at this time. And if you beat Ospreay anyway, you kind of got to go there, or at least you should from a booking perspective. So I'm taking Ospreay.
Yeah, I don't know what the rundown for the show is, but I feel bad for whoever has to follow this one.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to call an audible. I'm actually going to call an audible on our order here because I have an idea which match is going to have to follow this one again. So let's talk about the lone women's match on the card in Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship against Kris Statlander. This is the exact same pay-per-view that Statlander lost the TBS title last year. She is looking to regain it this year, and you guys know I'm right. You know Mercedes is going to be following Will Ospreay again, right? Like I will happily be wrong and eat crow on that, but if it happens again, you cannot convince me it's not being done on purpose. You cannot convince me it's not being done on purpose. Adam, who wins?
I'm going with Kris Statlander on this one.
Oh,
okay. I think it's time. I think
Saturday Night Fever. Let's go.
I think it's time, but I also think the reason she loses is because of a Camille heel turn. Have you watched her body language recently while Mercedes?
Would that be a babyface turn?
Or babyface turn. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Have you watched her body language while Mercedes is talking?
Yeah.
Anybody else notice that?
She's in the doghouse.
I think what's going to happen is Camille is going to turn face. She's going to break away from Mercedes, and it's going to open a door for Kris Statlander to effectively beat her and win that back. So I'm going to go with Kris Statlander.
I don't know if they pull the trigger on that this early. Like
really?
Yeah, I feel like it just. I just don't know if the timing is right or necessarily Kris Statlander's the right person. Now it all depends because you could easily elevate Mercedes up to the next level and have her compete for the AEW World Title. But it definitely it doesn't feel like Mariah May is dropping that belt anytime soon.
You could make that argument, but also too, if Mercedes is at least in that title picture, you could get a pretty solid program out of the two of them together, even if you build it for the next 4 or 5 months and let it really marinate. I think if they're going to pull the trigger on Mercedes being in that title picture, the time to do it is now. And I think that's another, for me at least, I think that's another reason why they elevate her.
I don't look until Tony Storm shows back up. I don't think Mariah is rapping. Now they're doing a champagne celebration, Zack, with her and Mina Shirakawa. So maybe that opens the door for Tony to come back up and that can fire up that storyline again and get this Mariah May title reign into another gear. It started off very, very slowly. It has picked up with the Willow matches and the little program that she's had here with Anna Jay. Disappointed she doesn't have a match on the card. At least she has a segment. Something big needs to happen there. I do think maybe that's Tony's, return to AEW and fire things back up there. But because of that, I think it's not the time to move Mercedes up. So I think Mercedes is going to hold on to the title. I don't know if it's going to be clean or what. I love Kris Statlander, even though the abrupt babyface turn. It still baffles me. I things happen, reasons. Just hey, I don't know. It confused the hell out of me. But either way, babyface, heel. I love her, but I think Mercedes hangs on to this one. What say you?
I do too. I think Mercedes hangs on to this as well. Not that AEW always cares or worries about, the babyface heel matchups, but if you have Mercedes Moné go up now, and go for the world title, you've got like a Mercedes Moné heel character that you want to protect against a Mariah May heel character that you want to protect and that you're working to continue to build. Like, that's not a good mix for me, even if you don't care about like that stuff. For this particular situation, I think it's very ineffective. The Camille stuff, like, to me, like, that's the end game for Mercedes Moné and the TBS championship. Like, I don't think you lose that title until you lose it to Camille, a la MJF and Wardlow, back in the day. Like, I think that's what you're building to ultimately. I think you just need to squeeze a little more juice out of it, if you ask me. So I'm taking Mercedes. I think this could be a really good match, though. I think they have a good working. Yeah. They got some chemistry there. So I'm taking Mercedes.
I have one.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just one real small thing about this, though. So suppose then that we assume that Mercedes keeps the title and that Toni Storm does not return for Mariah May. What's next for Mariah May at that point? Is there anybody in the chamber, believably, that could fight Mariah May? My thought about Mercedes is just the fact to elevate that title. This championship run, right? Mercedes Moné is one of the best women's wrestlers and, one of the most notable and, a very prominent figure in women's wrestling, could easily help her elevate her game and her title run. Who else is there?
Yeah, I think Britt would be lined up with her at some point.
Yep.
You got Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie, honestly, who were both watching the title match that she had with Anna Jay on Saturday on Collision. So obviously there might be some kind of connection there. And look, maybe Pipe Dream. Jesus Christ, can we get Athena on AEW TV for the love of God?
Thank you for saying that. That was the answer I was looking for, gentlemen. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, come on, it's beyond time. It's beyond time. Every other Ring of Honor champion can take over AEW programming except her. I don't.
Yep.
Thank you, Rick. I see what I did. I teed it up for you, and you swung.
I mean, I usually do. I don't know why you're always surprised at these things. Let's go to our tag team title fatal four-way. It is Private Party, Kings of the Black Throne, the Outrunners, and the Acclaimed. I personally don't think Private Party is going to drop the titles this soon. They just got their hands on those things. I made a big deal about, it took 5 years. They dethroned the freaking Young Bucks, for crying out loud. Do we really think that they're going to be dropping the tag team titles to any of the look at the teams. Okay.
Yeah.
You have House of the Black Throne. It's a great team.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on with Malachi in his future, even if he doesn't want us to speculate on it. Like there's a lot of questions there. That finish with Adam Cole was weird. Very weird, which is why them upsetting FTR was very, very surprising to me. Now, Tony Khan could shut a lot of people up by putting the titles on House of Black, but I don't think that it's going to happen. There's a lot of questions there. Man, do we believe in the Outrunners? I know there's been some talk about there was some push backstage to put the titles on them, and everybody's loves them, and they're an overact. I don't know if it's their time yet. And then the only other team there is the Acclaimed, and there's a lot of dissension between the two of them right now. Obviously, they have differing opinions on the Hurt Syndicate and MVP having interest in Max Caster and Anthony Bowens not wanting to be any part of that. I don't see. I think Private Party is going to sneak a win here. I think Max Caster is going to end up being the one that gets pinned in this one, and I think Private Party moves on to other challengers. The tag team division is heating up, thankfully, in AEW, and there's a date with FTR down the road at some point. There are going to be other options, maybe even the Don Callis family. They got 2 tag teams in there, Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, and hell, maybe Lance Archer and Brian Cage is the team I am really, really behind right now. LFI is out there as well. So there are plenty of options for Private Party to defend those tag team titles against. I think they get out of Newark, New Jersey with the belts at them.
I agree. I think especially because they made such a big deal about them winning the titles from the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
It's the John Cena theory, right? You think about it when Brock Lesnar beat the Streak, right? I know this is a wild comparison, but just roll with me for a second here, right?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, Private Party. I can connect those dots.
You can see that, right? We can see it. We can see it, right? Scissoring me, daddy, yes. Right. But I'm saying the point is, what I mean by that is, if you're going to do something like beating the Young Bucks for the tag team championship, and you're going to attach this set of championships to this new team by beating arguably the best tag team in the company, right? You're not going to let them get the titles taken off them that quick. You know, I think this is going to be a great match. To your point about Malachi Black, I mean, like, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, right? I don't see Tony Khan putting the belt on them, especially with all of the speculation right now. I don't see a world where you forfeit or be a spit in the face of a Young Bucks, a win over the Young Bucks rather. So I'm going to go with Private Party on this one. I think they retain, and I think that's going to elevate them to that FTR match.
The only team that is in this match that I think even has a remote chance of winning the tag titles at some point in the near future is the Outrunners. And you just don't want to have your crowning moment like that as an up-and-coming tag team, like in a fatal four-way match. I think you want to have it more definitive in a big singles match, in a feud that people care about, and that matters a lot. So if that's the thought, Private Party can't lose this match. And they need to hang on to those titles and keep going. I think establishing them as champions and doing the FTR match, that's important for the titles and important for Private Party. And then whatever happens after that happens after that. But you want the Outrunners, when they get their win, for that thing to matter. And right now, frankly, the tag division is being built back up again. And you need it to be established before you do anything wacky. So Private Party, I'm with you guys.
I think the Outrunners win the titles from FTR after FTR takes them to Private Party.
That makes way more sense to me. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up being the case. How about the TNT Championship? We got Jack Perry defending against Daniel Garcia. Jack Perry adamant Daniel Garcia is not ready to do the things he needs to do to win a championship. Adam, does he do the things he needs to do to win a championship?
I don't know, man. This is one of those ones when I was looking at the card and just thinking about it, I'm like, this could really go either way. Like this really, for me, it could go either way. No, I think Jack Perry's gonna retain here. I think if they're gonna build Daniel Garcia to that point, I think they're gonna make it like we've been talking about, right? You want to build, you want to elevate, you want to continue to make these people, you want to make it mean something. I think Jack Perry retains on this one. But this one I really struggled with before we got on the calls. I'm like, I don't know who it's going to be. Because, it could go either way for me. So I'm going to go with Jack Perry.
Zach?
I also struggled with this for a different reason, though. And the reason was, like, if it's like, one of these guys has to lose. And if either one of them loses, it's like they're kind of in a bad spot. If Daniel Garcia loses, he just kind of talked about how he's come back. He wants to win his first singles title. He re-signed with the company. He gets the shot, and then you're a babyface that loses. Like, ouch. If you're Jack Perry, like the single solitary thing that makes Jack Perry relevant at this point is the TNT Championship. If you take that away from him, he slips quite a bit, on the hierarchy of what matters in AEW. So it is a tough spot. But if it's me, I'm not hurting a potential babyface. And so I'm going to go with Daniel Garcia. I think he's got to make good on things that he says as a babyface, because if you don't, you can lose the audience quick. He's got a connection with the AEW crowd. There's something innate there. There always has been. And so I think they go with him and then let the chips fall where they may with Jack Perry.
So there's a lot of people online that I've noticed who believe that Jack Perry, now that, the Elite have kind of dissolved here with Young Bucks taking some time off, and he's kind of like floating out on an island all of his own. And people are looking at that moment that he had with Jon Moxley a few weeks back, where Mox was like, hey, or smacked him on the face, said, hey, I like you, or you're a good kid, or something like that, right? People are pointing to that and saying, hey, he's going to align himself with the Death Riders. I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if I'm Tony Khan and I just invested premium dollars in this guy and went down presumably to the wire here to sign him, like the part of the reason why he ended up not going over MJF was because he hadn't re-signed a contract yet. That was the rumors from Wrestling Observer, right? So came down to the wire whether or not you were going to re-sign him. He wanted to be here. He wants to be one of the flag bearers for this brand. He wants to win a singles championship. Tony Khan said all the right things about him after he signed the contract. I was the one who asked him the question on the press call. This is a guy he wants to invest in and build around. I also look at the landscape of my champions. AEW World Champion, heel. AEW Women's Champion, heel. TBS Champion, heel. TNT Champion, heel. Continental Champion, heel. International Champion, heel. Tag team champions. Okay, you got one. So like you need somebody to be carrying some gold around in this company that the crowd can rally behind. You got to go with Daniel Garcia here. You got to ride his momentum. Eventually, the guy's got to win something that matters here. So
He does.
Hook or crook, if you're going to invest in him, invest in him. Give him a shot, and let's see if he's actually ready. I think he is. So I'm going to take Daniel Garcia to win the gold here. We have Jon Moxley defending his newly won AEW World Championship against Orange Cassidy. But this match is so much more than that. This isn't just a fight for a title that Jon Moxley carries around in a frickin' satchel or a briefcase or whatever the hell it is. It's not about where the title, what vessel the title is going to be moving forward. Is it going to be in a briefcase or a backpack? Who gives a shit? This isn't a fight for a title. It's for the soul of AEW, damn it. And Orange Cassidy, the guy who came into the company as a dude who had to be talked into trying in his matches, is now fighting for the soul of the company. Yeah, he's going to fall short. Jon Moxley's going to I'm sorry.
You for the heel turn there.
I was waiting for the smack there, and it came. And it was it's interesting because, again, it feels like this is building to something bigger, right?
Yes.
So if you look at Orange Cassidy and you look at the way that they're kind of building the storyline and what they're doing with Moxley, I feel as though, again, this is the first step, right? Moxley's consistently been talking about, I don't like whatever he says. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't like the way AEW is being run, and this isn't your company anymore. Yeah. He's out to prove something. And whatever that is, here comes the money. Excuse me, I had a cough in my throat for a second.
On this, okay.
I had a cough. It was something stuck in my throat. Whatever they're building, whatever they're building to has to go through these steps and this type of scenario. I again don't see a world where Orange Cassidy wins this. And I think it could be one of those situations where it's a little bit more on the realistic side, where it looks like he gets beat. You know what I mean? Like where they really lean into the violence aspect of what Jon Moxley is doing. Moxley's retaining, and I think we may get some more clues as to what's coming from here. But I was really expecting you to say that Cassidy was going to win this one, just with that heel turn there, and then boom, in the face.
Hell no. Look, Darby Allin's one is taking that title off Moxley.
Yes. To be clear, I feel the same way. I feel like it's building towards the Darby Allin win eventually. He's the guy. Well, you remember too, like I said, it's kind of been teed up this way a little bit if you've been paying a little bit of extra granular attention, right? He worked with Sting. He's like the next guy, right? Like he did that whole part of the arc where he is part of the pillars of the company, right? And it's like, why would it not be anybody but Darby Allin to beat Jon Moxley for that title? So I think, again, this is a step in that direction. I don't think it ends well for Orange Cassidy, though.
I'm right there with you guys. This is Jon Moxley all the way. And I think the fun part about this is like that Orange Cassidy is a good enough character where he's going to make you believe maybe a little bit during the match. Like that's
there's going to be some near falls. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
That's the goal. Where it's like, can he make you believe for like one little second that it might not happen, and that's mission accomplished. But this is Jon Moxley. Look, it's just too early. They've invested way too much into what they're doing with him, and it's going to serve a bigger story. I think, with Moxley, I'd be tempted here to do just a, Brock Lesnar over John Cena, SummerSlam 2015 beating of Orange Cassidy, just to really drive home that, like, you think you have a shot, but you don't. And I think I'd be tempted to really put Moxley over strong that way. But regardless of how they do it, Mox is winning this, and we'll move on from there. But
are we overlooking the Wheeler Yuta aspect of this? Because he has been a major part of this buildup with Orange Cassidy and his history that those two share with one another. Wheeler Yuta's got to play a major role in this match, doesn't he? I mean, obviously, probably aligning firmly in the the man put a plastic bag around Bryan Danielson's head. He should have no problem squeezing any juice that's left out of Orange Cassidy at the end of this thing, I would think. Is there any kind of scenario where Yuta is conflicted and maybe doesn't cost John the match, but almost cost John the match? Maybe
I could see that. I could see, again, with the conflicted feelings he had with Bryan Danielson and everything else. I could see it definitely being like, this isn't what this isn't what I signed up kind of scenario, right? This is what I signed up for. I think he does it though. I think he just does what he's told. But no, I could see it. I could envision a scenario where Wheeler Yuta gets involved in somehow. But I don't think it benefits anybody, but it's more like self-preservation, right? I think that's what I'm looking at here.
All right, we went 30 to 35 minutes, something like that. Hey, but you know what? The last time we had 7 matches when we went over 30 minutes. Today we had 9, so our pacing is getting better.
We're getting better.
Listen, we're getting way better at this.
We appreciate everybody who stuck with us throughout the entirety of the video. Make sure to give us a thumbs up here. Make sure to subscribe to the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. A lot of good stuff coming out here. My video with my interview with Mercedes Moné is going to be dropping here in the next week or so. Of course, you can read that interview and all of our great work over on the Takedown on SI. The website for Sports Illustrated. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy Full Gear. And hey, we'll be back next week too to talk about another pay-per-view. We got Survivor Series coming up. That card only has 3 matches so far. So we might get that done in like 8 minutes.
I was going to say, as long as we're not bullshitting before, we'll get it
done. Just rattle it through.
That's right.
Take care, everybody.